What is good, people? It's your boy Femzilla, and I am back. I didn't think I'd be back this early, but I think we have to do it. A brief review of Andor mid-season. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I feel like you guys already know how I feel. I still absolutely adore this show. I don't think they've had a single miss this season, and all that serves to do is scare me. We're now 6 episodes in, with the 6th episode dropping today, which I will be watching later, and I'll leave some views of that episode on Twitter. You can follow me at Femzilla, or you can follow me on Instagram, TTV. I will be leaving some thoughts from episode 6 on Twitter at Femzilla. You can follow me if you care about my opinion, or you can follow me on Instagram, TTV Femzilla, just for extra Star Wars bits there. But I just have to continue. This season is amazing. This show is amazing. It's consistently gripping. I don't think they've missed a step in the writing and the production and the structure. I still feel like people may have issues with the pacing of the show because they're not seeing blasters and lasers constantly, but it truly is the intention of this show, and we know that, you know, the team behind Andor can do it because they've done it with Rogue One, and Rogue One is still constantly critically panned as, you know, the best Star Wars property ever. So I am very, very much excited to see what comes towards the end of the series. The past 3 episodes have been fairly political and slow paced, but it's really well building, and I had a friend who also told me that they were frustrated that they didn't bring in the heist on episode 5, which I replied that I never actually expected it at episode 5. I think, like every good show, the build up to the Big Bang is always better than the Big Bang itself. So I think they're really trying to establish where these, you know, early signs and seeds of the rebellion are forming, and how people are drawing together, and how organizations are being formed. We can see that it's very loose and ragtag, and there's so many discrepancies with the way they operate and how they treat each other. We're just due to see something go wrong during this heist, and yeah, that's going to lead to more action and more plot. I did a quick synopsis of each episode that we've seen since then. So episode 4, Ardani. Rael obviously takes Cassian to the planet Ardani to join the rebels for this early signs of the rebellion, and we really get to see the initial developments of the relationship between Cassian, who is now going as Clem, and Vel, the leader of this rebel faction. But you can see already from the beginning that there's a lot of distrust, and the rebellion wasn't this happy-go-lucky faction that the earlier movies would have you to believe, where people just came together and it was just, let's defeat the bad guy. So you can see that there's so much dysfunction in this organization. We also get to find out that Rael is not a double agent, but is definitely playing both sides of the coin. He works as an antiques dealer on Coruscant, and I think what was really great about this episode as well was the fact that we got to see a revamped Coruscant, or just a reinvigorated one. We see that at the end of the day, it's still the center of the Galactic Empire. Its economy is doing really well, and there's, you know, levels of institutional oppression coming in. The top level's always been the richest, and you've always seen levels of wealth that the lower levels would never see. But yeah, we really do get to know a bit more about Cassian and his past, and I think it was a great way to building into the next episode. The Axe forgets. So this episode is definitely a bit more, goes more into depth about Cassian and the organization he's working with. Vel covertly is trying to get her team to come around to the idea that they've got a mercenary in their midst, essentially, who is pivotal to the mission, which makes the rest of the team very anxious and not really willing to continue. So you see a lot of the resistance from the other team members, who also get to see a lot of the relationships being formed between Vel and the others. So it's really interesting to see all these characters being developed and how they play into the greater world building at large. What we also get to see more of is the relationship between Miro, Blevin, and even, like, in some parallels, Lieutenant Gorn, and just seeing how people work their way when they are in the military industrial complex of the Empire, and how far their ambitions go and how far their ambitions tie into the overarching presence of the dark side. It's really, really interesting. It takes such a socio-political turn, but it's explained really simply. It's riveting, it's engaging, and it just develops more on what George Lucas tried to do in the prequels, but better, and we're seeing that time and time again with Star Wars content, so it's always a good thing to see. And lastly, I'd just like to mention Mon Mothma, who has always been this pivotal figure in Star Wars, and we don't really know what she's about, so it's been good to see the complexities of her daily life, really her struggle whilst essentially funding this rebel organization, and her family life and being a senator. So it's been great to see. And yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say other than, if you like Star Wars, go and watch this show. If you don't like Star Wars, still watch it. It's a great show. Yeah, so that's been me. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments and theories about Andor in the comment section below. I'd really love to know what you think. And until next time, peace.